Ignition sequence starts. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Hey everybody, this is the Digital Asset Investor, and before I play this clip, there's a new clip out of Dubai with Brad Garlinghouse where he says he thinks the case is going to be over in the next 2 to 6 months. So just a little reminder from my sponsor, Link2, they have Ripple equity on the platform. So there may be only 2 to 6 months left of that is what I'm getting at. All right. So here's Brad Garlinghouse in Dubai. And by the way, he was in XRP Las Vegas 24 hours before he went to Dubai.
I am incredibly optimistic about the future of crypto. And if you had told me that over the last year you're going to have the Terra Luna fiasco, you're going to have the FTX meltdown, and you're going to have a banking meltdown in the United States servicing crypto, and yet Bitcoin would still be at roughly 27, 28, 30,000, I wouldn't have believed you. And it really, I think, speaks to the resilience of crypto and why so many people are looking to it as a long-term place of value, a long-term, even maybe safe haven. Now, I don't know that plays out in 1 year or 2 years, but I do think if you look out over the long arc of time, these technologies are here to stay. They're serving a purpose. And the more we as a community and an industry focus on solving real problems, focus on the utility of crypto, I think the more we're going to see the industry thrive. I think the destabilization of banking has been a major driver of crypto since the beginning of the crypto industry. And, we go back to the original Satoshi Nakamoto Bitcoin white paper really came out of the ashes, what I'll call the ashes of 2008, 2009 banking crisis. And I think we continue to see angst around banking be a driver of crypto interest and crypto adoption. And I don't think it's any different than what we've seen in the United States over the last few months, that despite these kind of what I'll call meltdowns of the second and third largest bank failures ever in U.S. history. Now, what does that mean long term for the dollar and the reserve currencies? I think it's too early to know those things. I think the only thing I guess I would say is we often overestimate the change that'll happen in 5 years, but I think we underestimate the change that happens in 10 years and 20 years. And you told me years ago when the internet was getting started that I could literally, click a button on my phone and have ice cream delivered in 20 minutes. I wouldn't have believed you. But that's where we are today. And I think when you think about the impact of blockchain and crypto, it's hard to predict where it's going to play out. But I do know it's here to stay and it's going to continue to grow. Well, the case against Ripple by the United States SEC started 2.5 years ago, so it's certainly been a bit frustrating and slow, but the good news is we're at the end of that journey. And while others in the crypto industry might be at the beginning of that journey, the silver lining for Ripple has been that we're kind of at the end. Sometime, I would say, between the next 2 and let's say 6 months, I expect a resolution. The judge in the United States has been fully briefed. She has the decision on her plate. A federal judge can operate on whatever timeline in this case she would like. But I'm optimistic we're going to see resolution, I believe, before the end of Q3.
Before the end of Q3. All right. Now, this right here this one's funny. This is eGreg Crypto, and I'm convinced now that he does his charting and then he creates all kinds of terms and he's trying to make it fun and funny. Okay, this kind of reminded me of the one of my favorite movies, Pee-wee's Big Adventures, where he's driving down the road at night and he sees a road sign and there's arrows going in every single direction. This is what that reminded me of. But he says XRP Pandoras Box. He's got movement will pump XRP to $3.30. Critical price range is this. And then he goes through a whole litany of all the things that have gone on. He calls it the Pandora box contains the 7 evils, like the 7, what were the different levels of hell in, was it Dante's Inferno? That's what it reminds me of. Strife, disease, hatred, death, madness, violence, jealousy. It has it all. Grand conspiracy. Anyway, good stuff. I like when people add personality to the equation. Now, this guy right here, you want the the definition of the problem that the United States of America has, it's these career politicians who think that the rules don't apply to them, they apply to everybody else. These are the people that need to go. These people need to be put out to pasture, and if they've done anything illegal like insider trading because they were career politicians, they need to go to freaking jail. But this guy is part of, he defines the problem.
Crypto bros make money literally by making money, and they've made over $1 trillion out of thin air.
So this $1 trillion industry has popped up out of thin air because of a lack of trust in the government, because of people like him, and that them and their bailout friends and all the stuff they've done to create a distrust with the people they're supposed to represent. But listen to what he says about he and all his government buddies.
They'll accuse the U.S. government of making money out of thin air. Maybe we do, but we're the U.S. government.
We're the U.S.
Crypto
government.
bros make money literally by making money.
That guy needs to be so far away from our government, it's not even funny. He and all of his buddies, Gary Gensler, Elizabeth Warren, they don't need to be anywhere near this government. These are bad guys, big time. Now, listen to this clip from the hearing yesterday.
Centauri, next to you, SEC Chair Gensler has consistently said that crypto companies need to, quote unquote, come in and register. I'd like to learn more about what that process actually looks like. In your role as chief legal officer at a crypto exchange, have you tried registering at the SEC, and what has that experience been like for you and other exchanges?
Thank you for the question, Congressman. It's become this meme, this oft repeated saying that cryptocurrency and digital asset companies should just come in and register, that it's just a form on the website. It is not. It's unclear to us, and I believe it's unclear to the regulators as well, just what registration means for a digital asset exchange, and for, I would say, every meaningful provider in the digital asset ecosystem. Registration is typically the filing of an S1 statement, which is the...
Anyway, he's basically saying it's not even possible to do it like we already knew. Check this out from Omfif. Now, Omfif, they don't name their organization, but I'll show it to you anyway. But look right here, it's got a Ripple set up, and it's got Amazon Web Services. There's a lot of heavy hitters at this thing. It's central banks and digital currencies. Global annual DMI Symposium in London. You start looking through here, Bank of Israel, Bank of Ghana. This is the head digital assets at Goldman Sachs, MIT, European Banking Authority, People's Bank of China. They're all there, folks. Kind of reminds me of the room in Switzerland that Brad Garlinghouse was in a few years back. Then Eleanor Terrett says, Scoop, Patrick McHenry, some of these congressmen, they're sending another letter to Chair Gensler, and they're demanding he turn over previously requested documents relating to FTX, the agency's climate proposal and crypto registration. So he still hasn't handed them the documents around what he was up to with FTX. How about that? Now, this tweet was going around yesterday from SpaceX, which is Elon Musk. We're excited to work with VAST to create greater access to space and more opportunities for exploration on the road to making humanity multiplanetary. Now, folks, I was made fun of a long time ago because I said that in my gut that Ripple and Stellar were somehow connected to Elon Musk and the whole X thing, and that Starlink satellites, I believe that the whole point of all this to create a trustless economy, you would have nodes on the satellites, and that was just, and I put that together I did videos and put together a lot of evidence of that. I didn't just throw it out there. But now we've got SpaceX announcing that they're working with VAST, and what's interesting about VAST is that Jed McCaleb left Stellar or Interstellar to go create VAST. So now he openly works with Elon Musk. Okay? And so, and I posed a couple of questions here. I said, remember when I did the Greg Kidd interview, and he did, I don't think it came out of nowhere, the term intergalactic currency, and then I traced that back to PayPal Galactic, which nobody ever heard from again. Then we traced that back to the fact that PayPal, their original goal was to create a world reserve currency. And so all of those things combined, and I always said, why do you think Stellar's website is literally a constellation of stars? I think all this has always had to do with space. And then Ripple's commercial, I've always asked the question there, one of the commercials they ran, they've got an astronaut that's sending XRP on a device down to some woman at a wedding. So the question is, how does the astronaut bounce that XRP down there? And that's why I've always thought that this had to do with satellites. So let's then I want to show you this whale wire. The U.S. government just sold 9.8 thousand of Bitcoin worth 277 million, causing the prices to plunge. They still own over 200,000 Bitcoin. If they decide to sell that, the prices would be back under 10K in a heartbeat. That's why I say, folks, the government is in total control of this space, even now. Now, I saw this going around. This is Peter Schiff arguing with this Bitcoin maxi. And look, when I first got in this, I thought that what Peter Schiff was saying is that, all digital currency was whatever, and that it wasn't a thing. But now that I've watched him for a while, I agree with him more. I think that he's right. It's gold. It's not Bitcoin. It's XRP and XLM and maybe a handful of others that actually have utility, but it's not Bitcoin. He's got her dead to rights here.
Bitcoin has nothing in common with gold. It's the opposite of gold.
Well, it has a lot in common with gold.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah, of course it does.
It does not.
I would be happy to say that.
Can you conduct electricity with it?
No, but it doesn't matter. You can do other things with it. Can you do cross-border payments with gold? No, of course not.
Yes, I can.
No, you can't.
Yes, I can.
It's very expensive. Are you going to ship it across the world?
Actually, you can do it with Glint. The link's in the top of the description.
I'll ship it for free. All I have to do is have my gold stored and have ship the ownership, transfer the owner. The gold doesn't have to move. Just my ownership of the gold. No, it's not.
Of course it's bad.
No, it's not.
Because then it's basically paper receipts, and we're back to
no. But the gold, it's not a fiat currency. It's real currency because it's backed by gold.
All right, and then this is a clip many of you may never have seen before. Listen to this.
It's extremely interesting that all this happening in the world while Ripple is strategically positioning themselves with the financial institutions, because the value is in the protocol and the liquidity solutions that XRP will provide as a financial instrument.
Digital currencies that are backed by gold circulating around, whether any of them would benefit from moving along the Ripple blockchain, or whether or not Ripple has something to offer that would speed up the processes or reduce the cost, to the extent that Ripple did have something to add that other blockchains didn't. Then there might be some demand for Ripple up to a point. I mean, I don't know what that point is or what price to assign to Ripple. When I suppose if I have one type of token and you have another, and we're not in a similar ecosystem, and we're trying to use third parties or go through an exchange and trade, and maybe there'd be a use case. I don't know if that would be there, but ultimately the token has to have value based on the asset that's backing it up, not just based on hope and prayer that you think it has value.
Utility as well, and use case.
Right. Well, the
solving
question
a problem.
Is though, right, if you just have a token that has utility, you have to measure that utility by the value that it's able to bring me. So if, for example, I can put my gold token on Ripple, and that increases the functionality of my token, it makes it easier for me to spend it or to earn it, because it lowers the transaction costs,
the time,
and it increases the speed, then yes, there's a value there. How much?
I'm the digital asset investor. I'm not an investment advisor. This is for entertainment purposes only. Please subscribe. Hit the like button. Tell your friends and family that Peter Schiff, I think he kind of gets it. If there's no utility, there's no value. And I think that's what he's really been saying about Bitcoin all this time.